What I want to talk about today are 10 more techniques to break the grip when you're doing an armbar on somebody. When you're doing an armbar on somebody, they often defend. They defend here with a chain grip, or the palm-to-palm grip, or they grab their lapel, or they grab their sleeves, or they do a rear naked choke position, and they don't want to let you armbar them. So now, I recently did a video on 10 ways to break the grip when you've got an armbar. Here's 10 more ways to break the grip. So, Richie and I are sparring. Hey, how's it going? I take him down. I step into an armbar. How I get there doesn't really matter. I'm here, somehow, I found myself in an armbar. One of the simplest ways to break the armbar, not legal in submission grappling, not legal in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but for MMA and for self-defense, this is pretty applicable. You're here, you're pulling, and you hammer fist the guy's face. This will happen, you'll extend his arms, you shift your grip up to the wrist, and you pull back. You keep that sucker tight against your chest. That might seem low-tech, but I think one of my teachers, Eric Paulson, if I remember correctly, won a fight in Japan in Shuto, shoot wrestling, with that very technique. It's low-tech, but it works. So here we are. I'm just not getting the armbar. For whatever reason, I'm giving up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bottom leg, the leg that's closest to his legs, thread it through his arm. Most of the time he wants to get to his knees. He wants to get to his knees to crush me. I'm going to give him that opportunity. I'm going to open up my legs. He's going to come up. I'm going to control the back of his head. I'm going to fall back. He comes up to his knees. And I move directly to the triangle choke, which, as you can see, is sort of effective. So here we are again. This is an angle. We're here. However, I'm controlling the wrist. I thread my foot through, and I give him a way out. He turns in, I chop down, I control the head, and I triangle my legs. Sometimes you catch him a little bit sideways here. That's all right as well. If the choke doesn't work, I can extend my arms, extend my hips, still get the armbar. Come back, please, Richie. That's moving to a regular triangle. There's another option here, where I'm going to take my top leg and thread it through his arm here. It was above his shoulder. Now it's going to go into his armpit. My other foot comes here. Turn a bit, please. Here we are in what I sometimes call a Japanese-style armbar. It's with one leg over the body. Typically, I control it with the top arm. I'm going to fall on my side, and I'm going to kick underneath his body. From here, I cross my ankles to get it started. I adjust, and then I triangle my legs. My top foot goes behind my bottom knee, and I squeeze. The single biggest problem people have with this triangle choke is that they do it on the guy's body, here. I can squeeze pretty hard. Right now my thigh is under Richie's shoulder. I want my thigh to be touching the back of his head. So I might just have to cross my ankles and walk back. Now his thigh is on my head, and I can squeeze and finish the armbar there. If you want more information on those two chokes, go check out a video I did called 5 Triangle Chokes That You Need to Know. Here's something that may or may not be legal in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but they really do work, so you need to know them. Basically, on his arm, I can come with my top arm or my bottom arm. Depending which arm you're coming with to hook his arm, changes which techniques you're going to do. This one relies on taking the top arm and coming through his arm here. I'm going to keep his hands down towards his chest. Most of the time, he's going to be wanting to make that small space anyway, but I don't want him to lift up his hands. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my leg over his wrist, then I'm going to triangle my legs here. What I'm doing here with my wrist, you can see it this way. I'm going to turn it up that way to activate the choke, the bicep crush. We're here. I keep his wrist down. I cross my leg over. I triangle my leg. Sometimes I can hook underneath his head here. It's pretty painful. Now I'm going to pull back. I'm going to squeeze my legs. And really, I just began to turn that hand and already started applying a bicep crush. That's a bicep crush with my legs high and my top hand hooking. You can do the opposite. You can take your bottom hand and hook through. Now, instead of bringing my bottom leg over, it's my bottom hand, so it's going to be my top leg. Once again, I keep his wrist close to his body. I typically like putting my foot on his hip here, just keeps everything under control. Then I bring my foot over and I triangle my legs on this side of his body. There's nothing controlling him, but it's hard for him to get up, and by pulling, squeezing my legs, and going like that, almost an instant tap out. Very, very painful. Now let's talk about some ways to break the grip using more of a mechanical advantage. He's pretty strong in front of his body right here, but you're less strong when your arms are up there. So one thing a lot of people do is they fall towards the head. Maybe they just have a figure four, a simple figure four grip here, and they fall towards the head, and then they can pull. One thing that falling towards the head allows you to do, as I talked about in the previous video, here I'm pulling at the bicep. Ideally, I'd like to pull at the wrists. If I fall towards the head, I can shift my grip to the wrist a bit, and then finish it there. That's with a standard figure four. One thing a lot of people like doing, they go deep with the top hand. They bring the other hand in here. I'm using, I'm like a waiter, I'm holding a tray here. That's keeping his wrist from escaping a little bit. I bring my other hand in here with my elbow. Now, as you can see, I'm doing this kind of motion. What's that doing? It's twisting his grip from here to there. It's really weakening it. It's also applying a little bit of an Americana type shoulder lock. We're here, then I fall back flat to apply the lock. Here's a really, really simple but very effective Jedi mind trick that works with a whole bunch of different arm locks. I'm pulling, his natural response is going to be to pull back. So here's the timing. I pull, he pulls back. I relax. Most of the time, he'll model that and relax as well. Then, on the third beat, I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to hit the little finger edge of his hand. Not his fingers, the palm of his hand, or the judo chop. There, then. So I'm going to pull, relax, palm strike, and come back and apply the arm lock. The timing's important. I can't go here and while I'm pulling, try and hit his hand off. I can if I'm way bigger than him, but if he's strong and if he's smart, he's not going to let that happen. I pull, I relax, he thinks he's out of the woods, then I hit, and I come back. For this next break, Richie moves from having his hands palm to palm or a chain grip to the full-on lion kill position. With the gi, without the gi, this is a really tough position to break. Last time I showed hitting the elbow with the palm to strip his grip apart like that. But you might not be able to do that. First of all, this hand might be holding his leg, right? That might be how you're controlling the guy. Secondly, this hand might be basing out here because he's trying to sit up. If he's trying to sit up, I can't take my hand off here. If I move there, he's going to come up to the top. So, for this technique, I'm going to control his leg. I'm going to fall on my elbow. I don't want to fall all the way flat. I want to stay up. Now, if I can't use my hand to push that elbow off, I can use my other leg. I'm going to bring my leg over. It's underneath my leg. I'm going to bring it over, and using the back side of my ankle, I'm going to strip it. I don't let him regrip, and I come up and I finish the arm lock, still holding onto his leg. One more time. We're here. I'm holding the leg. I'm trying to sit up a bit. I'm pulling. It's not working. Come here, strip, arm lock him. In the final recounter to this guy's counter to my arm lock, I'm going to show what happens if you can't hold on to his legs. What happens if he does get up to his knees? Maybe he rocks, maybe he walks away, he comes up. I know that this is not a good position to be in. As he's driving forward, I'm going to take my hand that's still free, the hand that's closest to his legs, and bring it between his body and my own. I'm going to bring it down here to the floor. Now, as he drives down onto me, I spin out underneath, and this is a very powerful position to armbar him from. I'm going to show that from one other angle. We're here, he gets to his knees, he drives in, I take this hand, I put it between our bodies, he drives in to squish me, I spin out, I armbar him here, or I grab his foot, pull it over my head, and apply the arm lock. Now, I'm not going to break down that last technique for you because I already have a video on YouTube breaking it down. It's called the armbar spin out from guard. Go check it out. Not only does it show you that technique in detail, but it also shows you a cool one-person drill that you can do to get the mechanics right. Because it is kind of a rubbing your belly and patting your head or the other way around kind of technique. It's got a lot of moving pieces and you have to get all the moving pieces correct. So go check out that other video and take care.